evening YouTube, it's Grawlys. As I'm here, darkened room, just with a floodlit work area. I'm going to show you what can be done with a few pieces of this, just normal paper, some PVA glue, bit of super glue, some of this, which is printer ink, some plastic tubes, straws, and a bit of dowel. So what we're doing at the moment is building some Paperhammer. So I'm going to switch around so you can actually see the work area, and hopefully step by step we'll go through how you create something for Warhammer 40k or any hobby with those basic materials and a few basic modelling tools. So enough of me waffling, switch camera around and let's show you what's happening. Okay, here's the work area. These are all the tools that I use. So we've got a scalpel, nice fresh blade in there, nice and sharp. We've got something, any kind of blunt tool, just to score, not to cut through, just to leave an indent in the paper and the card. Some small scissors, steel rule, and if you've got one, a hole punch. What do we do with them, you might ask? Well, you need some plans to begin with. So what we have for today is a Leman Russ tank that we're going to be doing. So I've already taken the liberty of printing out plans. So for this particular one, plans were printed out on paper and then PVA glue onto cardstock, and that was stuck down and left to dry. And so you can see it does curl slightly when it's dried, so you can see you just have to bend that back into shape. But what we've got on this sheet is one side of the tank, and so if you look at the plans you might recognise some of the shapes. That bit's for the track base. All those little rectangles there are all the track. There's the inner and outer bits of the side. We've got sponsons and guns and all the rest of it there, and some armour plates there. So that's one side. Also printed out another one that goes the other way. That's the other side, so that's left and right. Here we've got the main hull. So there's in the middle there, that's the inner hull, that's the top, bottom, back, front, armour plates again, that's the top where the turret sits, and all the little bits and bobs that kind of go around the hull. So that's the main hull, and lastly is a sheet. There's not as much on this one, but this is the turret that obviously goes on the top. Now each of those pieces, if I reach round to here, once they cut out, you'll end up with lots of little pieces of card. So that's one of the sides. You can see middle's cut out with quite a few bits there. So that's one side. Same again, obviously opposite way around for the other side. We've got the hull and all the bits just cut out, and the lines where you've not cut, They're the ones where you want to score with your blunt object. So an old pen that's run out would probably be ideal, and that just helps bend everything in a nice, do it where you can see it on camera, just bend everything in a nice straight line. So all these little bits at the side here, these E-glue tabs, again, if I bend that, see where it's already pre-scored, bends nice and straight. And lastly, this is where your plastic tube comes in for the gun barrel, and some little bits of dowel. So I've used, that's just a needle cover off an insulin needle, just as a stub which will go into the body of the tank, and all the top. There's not as many pieces on that one, so I do that. I keep them in 4 separate pots so I can keep them all neat and separate. So once you start gluing, what eventually comes out for the side is something that looks like that. As you can see, these pieces for the track. The bit that I didn't show is, let me bring, and this is where the hole punch comes in, is to punch lots of little circles. Yeah, there's 2 sizes there, and actually 3 sizes. So these make up all the, if I can get a pointer, all these bits here, all little rollers that the tracks run round on the inside, and the bit of straw which is on the gun, and yeah, the gun does move. So that's one side there. And the other side, again, just put together like that for now. Other side, but just in reverse. We have the main hull. As you can see, there's a piece on the bottom. There's an improvised las cannon on the top there. The engine. One thing I did have to cut extra was all these little ribs to make it a louvered vent on the back, and again bits of straw on the back as an exhaust, and that goes in the centre. That would simply glue in place like so. So I've not done that bit yet, so I'll show you what it's like when it's all put together, and that's what the turret looks like. That's a bit of dowel on that one, and that just goes in a hole which is punched on the top there. Now, how does this compare to an actual Games Workshop one? Well, I happen to have one of little Grawlys Leman Russ tanks that is in the process of doing, so just let me move this to one side. Hopefully it'll stand up. Put a bit of sponge there. Right, so that will stay propped there, and we'll bring an actual Leman Russ tank in just to compare it. Now, that will sit higher than that, but it gives you an idea side by side what the two, obviously not as detailed as the actual plastic model, but for a pretty much a free alternative. I'm thinking Imperial Guard, a lot of tanks, probably about £25–30 a piece. That's a lot of money to build up an Imperial Guard army, but you can do it for pennies. And so it's cost me a bit of printing ink, pack of card, some paper, and the rest is salvaged. It's scrap. It's not cost me anything, and just a little bit of glue to put it all together. So that's what we've been up to this week, which is why there's been no videos, because cutting out 4 sheets of all those little pieces, that's about 2 to 3 hours work just cutting the pieces out, and then probably another 3 to 4 hours assembly for all the different parts. So over the course of 2 or 3 evenings I've been doing this, but I'll leave this video for here. One thing I will say before I go, the plans are available online, or should I say, they're not as easy to get hold of online. Games Workshop clamped down on a lot of the websites that were publishing plans for not just Imperial Guard vehicles, but all sorts of different vehicles from loads of different factions. There's Tau vehicles, there's Space Marines, I've even got a plan for an Eldar Wave Serpent. It's a bit adventurous with all the curved surfaces, but for now I'm concentrating on Imperial Guard stuff. One thing I have got as well, which I'll probably be building for Little Grawler, because this is for his army, is a Baneblade, or a variant of a Baneblade. Again, that's just printed out onto A4 cardstock, cut out and glued together just the same as these. It's just a bigger tank. If anybody's interested in trying some of this, PM me and I'll give you the link to a really good website. There's a team of guys in Russia that do a lot of plans. For whatever reason, that's not been taken down, not legal action taken to close them down, so that the plans are still there. The designer of these plans uses a software called Paperhammer, and he stipulates on his plans that they are not for sale. He does not want to make money from these plans. They're just freely available to download and use for your own purposes. So if you fancy having a go, give me a shout in a message, and I'll ping across the link. And if you want specific plans, I might be able to just email the plans across to you. So let me know if it's something you fancy having a go at, and I shall come back with another Paperhammer video once this is assembled, and we'll kind of get some painted up and you can see the end result. Obviously it's not bad for an almost freebie. I'd say the scale is slightly bigger on the paper tank, but that's just the scale that you print it off at. I've just printed it off an A4. I think it was designed for slightly smaller, like non-standard size. So we'll leave it for that. Hopefully you like the look of these so far, and like I say, I'll come back with some more in another video. So for now, take care from Grawlys Lair.